I was preparing a romantic dinner for my husband when I got a notification. He was tagged in a photo at a restaurant with his mistress. So I got the ultimate revenge. Have you ever put your whole heart into something, only to have it shattered in an instant? Have you ever planned the perfect surprise for the person you love, only to discover that they've been hiding a betrayal behind your back? That's exactly what happened to me. I was in the kitchen, preparing a beautiful, intimate dinner for my husband, a night that was supposed to be filled with love, laughter, and celebration. But then, my phone buzzed. A notification popped up. Someone had tagged my husband in a photo. My heart pounded as I clicked on it, not knowing that what I was about to see would change everything. Why was he in a restaurant when he was supposed to be on his way home? And worse, who was that woman sitting next to him, smiling like she belonged there? Before we get into the full story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because trust me, you won't want to miss how this all unfolds. That evening, everything had to be perfect. I had spent the entire afternoon planning a romantic dinner, something special just for the two of us. My husband had been working late a lot recently, and I missed him. I wanted to remind him of the love we shared, to bring back the spark that had seemed to dim over the past few months. I had set the table beautifully, white linen, soft candlelight flickering, our best plates and wine glasses arranged just right. The aroma of his favorite dish, a slow-cooked lamb with rosemary and garlic, filled the air, mixing with the sweet scent of vanilla from the candles I had lit. The playlist I had carefully curated played in the background, songs that once made us dance in the kitchen, songs that had meaning to us. I even wore the red dress he loved. The one he always said made me look stunning. The one that, just months ago, would have made him pull me close the second he walked through the door. Everything was set. I was excited. Nervous, even. Would he be surprised? Would he smile and tell me how much he appreciated this? Would tonight be the night we finally reconnected? I checked my phone to see if he had texted that he was on his way. But instead, I saw something else. A notification. Your husband has been tagged in a photo. My heart skipped a beat. It was from social media. I hesitated. Maybe it was something innocent, an old picture, a memory someone had shared. Maybe it was from work, a meeting, or a quick dinner with colleagues. But something inside me told me to check. And so I did. The second the image loaded, my breath caught in my throat. There he was. Not at work. Not in the car on his way home. Not rushing back to me, to the romantic dinner I had planned with love and care. He was sitting at a restaurant. With another woman. My hands trembled as I zoomed in. They weren't just sitting there like two casual friends. They were leaning in close, laughing, lost in their own little world. The dim lighting, the wine glasses clinking, the way she touched his arm so casually, it all told me exactly what this was. A date. A date with a woman who was not his wife. My stomach twisted, my pulse pounding in my ears. I scrolled down to see who had posted it. A mutual acquaintance, someone who clearly didn't realize the storm they had just unleashed. The caption read, "Look who I ran into tonight. You guys make such a cute couple." A cute couple. I wanted to scream. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow. How long had this been going on? How many nights had he worked late? How many times had I waited for him, worried about him, only for him to be out with her, laughing, drinking, touching? I swallowed the lump in my throat. My first instinct was to call him, to confront him, to demand answers. But then, something inside me shifted. I looked around at the beautiful dinner I had prepared. The candles, the food, the wine, all of it suddenly felt like a mockery, like a fool's dream. And just like that, my sadness turned into something else entirely. Rage. I wasn't going to cry. Not yet. I wasn't going to yell over the phone while he sat across from her, probably whispering excuses. No. If he thought he could make a fool out of me, he was dead wrong. Because while he was enjoying his little secret, I was about to prepare something much bigger. Something he would never forget. And that's exactly what I did. The room suddenly felt suffocating. The warm, inviting glow of the candles, the rich aroma of the dinner I had spent hours preparing, it all blurred, like a scene in a movie that had suddenly turned into a nightmare. My hands gripped the edge of the table as I stared at my phone, my heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. There he was. My husband. The man I had spent years loving, supporting, and trusting. The man I had been waiting for all evening. Sitting at a restaurant. Laughing. Drinking. With her. I zoomed in on the photo, my fingers trembling. The restaurant was upscale, the kind of place we used to go to on special occasions, our special occasions. The dim, intimate lighting, the elegant wine glasses, the way they were leaning into each other, lost in their own little world, it all made my stomach churn. And then, there was her. She was beautiful. The kind of effortless beauty that stung. Long, dark hair cascading over her shoulders, a sleek black dress hugging her figure perfectly. Her eyes were locked on him, a coy smile on her lips. But it was her hand placement that made bile rise in my throat. She was touching him. Not in a casual, friendly way. No. Her fingers rested lightly on his wrist, a touch so familiar, so intimate, that it told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't their first time together. This wasn't a business dinner. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was an affair. A fresh wave of nausea hit me, and I had to steady myself against the table. My mind was spinning, replaying every late-night excuse, every moment he had seemed distant, every unanswered text, every night I had fallen asleep alone while he was working late. How long had this been going on? Had he been lying to me for months? Years? Had I been so blind, so trusting, that I hadn't seen the signs? I forced myself to keep scrolling, to look at the comments below the photo. Such a lovely couple. You guys look amazing together. Lovely couple. The words stabbed me like a knife. I clenched my teeth so hard my jaw ached. I wanted to scream, to throw my phone across the room, to shatter every wine glass on the perfectly set table. Instead, I took a shaky breath. I clicked on the profile of the person who had tagged him. A mutual acquaintance, someone I barely knew, but had met a few times at social gatherings. Clearly, they didn't realize what they had just exposed. I scrolled down further, my chest tightening with every comment, every like. How many people had seen this? How many of our friends, our family members, had looked at this photo and assumed he was happily in love with someone else? A thought struck me like lightning. Was I the only one who didn't know? Did our friends suspect? Did they whisper about it when I wasn't around? Did they pity me? Rage burned through my veins. I refused to be the oblivious, humiliated wife. I exhaled sharply, my grip tightening on my phone. The most dangerous part of betrayal isn't just the pain. It's the self-doubt. The way it makes you question everything, yourself, your worth, your entire relationship. I wouldn't let it consume me. I wouldn't let him win. But what now? My mind raced through my options. Option 1, call him right now. Demand answers. Interrupt his perfect little evening. Confront him while he was still sitting across from her, watching his face twist into guilt and panic. Satisfying? Yes. But predictable. He would lie. He would make excuses. He would say, it's not what it looks like. He would gaslight me, turn it around, tell me I was overreacting. No, that wasn't enough. Option 2, wait. Gather more proof. Find out exactly how long this had been going on. Play the long game. Let him dig his own grave. That thought sent a strange, dark thrill through me. I wasn't just going to catch him. I was going to make sure he never forgot what he did to me. I swallowed hard, my hands still shaking. My heart still broken. But through the heartbreak, through the rage, something else was forming. A plan. He had no idea that his perfect little secret had just been exposed. He had no idea that while he was sipping his expensive wine, whispering to his mistress, I was standing in our home, his home, plotting his downfall. He had no idea that the woman he had betrayed wasn't going to be a weak, sobbing mess. I straightened my shoulders, took a deep breath, and blew out the candles one by one. Tonight was supposed to be about romance. Now, it was about revenge. The candles were out. The romantic dinner, now cold and untouched, sat on the beautifully set table like a ghost of the evening I had planned. But I wasn't heartbroken anymore. Not in the way he probably expected me to be. No, my sadness had been replaced with something much more powerful. Cold. Calculated. Fury. I had a choice to make. I could scream, cry, beg for answers. Or I could make sure he never forgot this night for the rest of his life. I chose the latter. I wasn't going to waste my emotions on a man who had been sneaking around behind my back, laughing with another woman while I was at home, thinking of him, loving him, trusting him. He thought he was smart. But he had underestimated me. And that was about to be his biggest mistake. I needed to act fast. He would be home soon, expecting to walk in and find his devoted wife waiting for him. He had no idea that, instead, he was walking into a carefully planned disaster. I grabbed my phone and quickly saved the picture of him with his mistress. Then I scrolled through my contacts, sending it along with a simple, direct message to a carefully selected list of people: his parents, his boss, his closest friends, a few mutual acquaintances. Thought you should see this. Seems like husband's name, had different dinner plans tonight. No explanation. No context. Just the evidence of his betrayal, sent to the people whose opinions mattered most to him. Let him explain his way out of this one. I wasn't done. I walked over to the dinner table and grabbed a piece of paper and a pen. My hands were steady, my heart no longer racing. I was in control now. I wrote him a note, short and sharp, and placed it next to his untouched plate. I hoped she was worth it. Then, I took off my wedding ring, placed it on top of the note, and snapped a picture. One last post for social media, where everyone could see what kind of man he really was. I didn't write a caption. The image spoke for itself. Finally, I packed a small bag, grabbed my car keys, and left. I wasn't going to be here when he walked in. Let him choke on his own lies. Let him stand in the mess he created. I was barely 10 minutes away when my phone started blowing up. Texts, calls, voicemails. Him. Baby, please, I can explain. Him. It's not what it looks like, I swear. Him. Where are you? Please come home so we can talk. I didn't answer. I didn't need to hear his excuses. Then, the messages from other people started coming in. His mom. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Call me if you need anything. His best friend. WTF, dude. Tell me this isn't real. His boss. This is completely unprofessional. We need to talk first thing Monday. And the best one? The mistress. She messaged me. I didn't know he was married. I swear. I'm so sorry. I actually laughed when I read it. Whether she was telling the truth or not didn't matter. She could have him. I drove to a friend's house and spent the night there. I drank wine. I laughed. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. In the following days, his life imploded. The picture and messages had spread like wildfire. People whispered. His reputation was in ruins. His boss demoted him. Apparently, they didn't tolerate extramarital distractions. His parents were ashamed of him. His mother called me to apologize again. His friends? Most of them sided with me. They didn't want to be associated with a liar. And my husband? Oh, he begged. He showed up at my friend's place, knocking on the door, pleading to talk. He cried. He swore it was a mistake. That she didn't mean anything. That we could fix this. I didn't even open the door. Because by then, I was done. I had wasted enough time, love, and effort on a man who had thrown it all away. And I wasn't going to waste another second. I filed for divorce the next week. Fast, clean, and with no hesitation. People often ask me if I regret what I did. Not for a second. He thought he could humiliate me. That he could sneak around, live a double life, and I would never find out. But I did. And instead of breaking, I made sure he was the one who paid the price. And me? I walked away stronger, wiser, and finally free. Revenge never tasted so sweet. And that, my friends, is how you deal with a cheating husband. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Because trust me, there are plenty more stories like this, and you won't want to miss them.